Okay, so now what we are going to discuss today. Over here, we will be starting with your security monitoring, right? Then we will be jumping into the logs, like what are logs and how they are monitored, like in your Linux or into your Windows. Then we will be talking about your Wireshark, right? We will be performing some practicals also with our Wireshark over here. Then we will be jumping into the patching and the software update part, right? And after that, we will be talking about like how to secure our digital environment. Okay, so this will be the agenda for today. So talking about the first topic, which is your secure. See, nowadays, guys, like maintaining the security of our digital assets, right? Maintaining the security of our digital asset has become more crucial, right, than your previous time, right? So your security monitoring is one of the most important component we are having of our robust cyber security strategy, right? So in a simple language, you can say a security monitoring it will be involving like keeping a watchful eye over our computer systems, network and data to detect and respond to the potential threats or your unauthorized activities, right? So what is your security monitoring? Security monitoring is akin to having a digital security guard, right, which will be constantly patrolling over our digital realm, right? It will be involving the uh, vigilant observation, right, and the analysis of all the activities, right, which are happening within our computer system and the network. Just like you can say we are having a network camera, right, or a security camera, right? What it will be doing, it will be capturing all the records, right? It will be capturing and recording all the movements whichever we are doing, right? So we are also having your security monitoring tools, right? They will be analyzing the data, they will be analyzing the events, right? They will be analyzing the logs, right? From various sources to identify any sign of malicious behavior or a suspicious behavior, right? So some of the key aspects of our security monitoring, they are like your real-time threat detection, right? Your real-time threat detection. Like you can imagine, like you have installed a security system in your home, right? You have installed a security system in your home, right? Now that particular security system, right? It consists of your motion sensors, right? Your doors, right? Your windows sensor, right? Along with an alarm. So if over there an intruder, right? If over there an intruder, he will attempt to break down into your house, right? So over there our security systems, right, our security system immediately they are going to detect the movement, and over there they will be triggering an alarm, right? They will be triggering an alarm, right, and they will be giving us information about a potential threat. Similarly in the security monitoring, right? Similarly, in the security monitoring, we will be having a real-time threat detection tools. They will be constantly analyzing the network traffic, your system activities, and the user behaviors, right? And when they will be detecting any sort of unusual or unauthorized activities, they will be generating an alert over there, right? Which will be allowing our security analyst to investigate, and respond promptly, right? So for this real-time threat detection, we are also having a process. So let's explore the process over here, right? So in the first, we are having your continuous monitoring, right? So our real-time threat detection, it also involves the continuous monitoring of various aspects of an organization's network infrastructure and the systems, right? So over here, this particular monitoring, it can include your network traffic analysis, right? Your log file monitoring or your user behavior analysis and many more, right? So over here, the goal is what? The goal is to capture any sort of deviations from normal patterns, right? Or your known threats, right? That could potentially indicate a security breach. Then we are having your data collection and analysis. Okay, so to effectively detect the threats in the real time, our security tools, they will be collecting and they will be analyzing vast amount of data, right, which has been generated by our monitored systems, right? So this data, it can include your network packets, right? It can include your network packets, your system logs, your user activities, right, and your behavior patterns, right? So over here also we can use your advanced algorithms, your machine learnings, right, to analyze the data and identify the anomalies over there or your IOCs, right, your indicators of compromise. After this, we are also having your alert generation, right, your alert generation. So once an anomaly, right, once an anomaly or a potential threat, it has been detected, right? So over here, like our real-time threat detection tool, they will be generating alerts, right, to notify the security analyst or the incident response team, right? So now these alerts, they will be providing a valuable information about the nature of the threat, its severity, right, and the information about the affected systems, right? So these alerts, they are designed to enable the prompt investigation and response to mitigate the potential damage. After this, we are having your investigation and response, right? After receiving an alert, right? Upon receiving an alert, the security analyst, they will be investigating the identified threat to determine its nature and the potential impact, right? So over there, they will be assessing the scope of the incident, right? They will be gathering additional evidence, right? And they will be analyzing the relevant data, right? So over here, this investigation, it will be helping us like in understanding the attack vectors, right? Into identifying the compromised systems or you're formulating a effective response plan. After this, we are having your mitigation and remediation, right? So based on the findings of our investigation, right, which we have done on the last phase, right? So over here, the appropriate mitigation measures are implemented, right, to contain the threat and prevent further damage. So over here, it can include like isolation, right? So in the last, we were discussing about your mitigation and the remediation part. right? So based on the finding of the last step, which was your investigation, okay, so over here we will be applying some mitigation measures, right, to contain the threat, right, and prevent some further damage, right? So it will be including like isolating the infected system, blocking the IP address, or you can say the malicious IP address, right? And we will be applying your patches and the updates, right? And along with that, we will be taking some necessary actions to restore the normal operation, right? So the objective of our phase, your mitigation and the remediation, is to minimize the impact of the threat and prevent its reoccurrence, right? So let's take an example over here. Now, what this organization has done, it has deployed some advanced security features, right? Your advanced network monitoring systems, right? So now these systems, they will be doing what? They will be continuously monitoring the network traffic, right? They will be continuously monitoring the network traffic, the user activities, and the system logs. And over here, one day, our system, right? Our system, they are detecting a sudden surge in the network traffic, right? Which is originating from an employee's workstation, right? Which is originating from the employee's workstation during a non-business hour, right? So over here, this unusual activity, right? This unusual activity over here, it will be triggering an alert, right, which will be sent immediately to the SOC team. So over here, our security analysts, they will be receiving this alert, right? They will be receiving this alert over here and they will be initiating the investigation. They will be discovering that over here, the employee's workstation, it has been compromised by a malware, right? Which is allowing an external attacker, right? Which is allowing an external attacker over here to establish a connection and attempt to exfiltrate the sensitive information, right? So over here, the analysts, they will be quickly isolating the compromised computer, right? They will be quickly compromising this, isolating this compromised computer, your compromised workstation from the network, right? And they will be initiating the incident response procedures, right? Further on, the incident response team, they will be coming and they will be analyzing the attack, right? They will be analyzing the attack vectors, they will be identifying the source of the malwares, and later on, they will be applying necessary remediation measures to eradicate the threat, right? Along with that, they can also implement additional security controls to prevent similar incident in the future, right? So this is what our real-time threat detection. After the real-time threat detection, we are having your log analysis, right? So over here, uh, let's think. Let's think our security monitoring. Let's think our security monitoring over here as a digital detective, right? Which will be doing what? It will be inspecting the clues, right? To unravel the potential security threats, right? So over here, our security monitoring tools, what they will be doing, they will be collecting and they will be analyzing the logs from various sources. Like we are having your servers, your firewalls, right? Your antivirus software, right? Now, these logs, they will be providing a trail of activities and the event that has been occurred within our digital environment, right? So by analyzing all these logs over here, right, the security analysts, they can identify the patterns, they can spot the anomalies, and they can uncover the IOC, the indicator of compromise, which can signify an ongoing security breach or unauthorized access, right? So over here, we are also having your process for our log analysis. Like we are having your log collection. So your log collection is what it is the first step we are having in our log analysis, right? So over here we will be collecting the logs which has been generated from different systems and the application within our digital environment, right? So these logs over here, they will be acting as a trail of the event, right? Which which will be capturing the activities such as your user logins, your network connections, your system errors, and the file access, right? That will be our log collection. After this, we are having our log aggregation, right? So once we have collected all the logs, right, now we will be aggregating them into a centralized location or a log management system, right? So over here, this will be doing what? It will be consolidating, right? It will be consolidating all those logs, right? And it will be allowing the security analyst to have a holistic view of the logged events and the activities, right? Across the entire digital infrastructure. After this, we are having a log parsing and normalization, right? So over here we will be gathering or we will be collecting the logs from different sources. Now they will be having different formats and the structure. Now to effectively or to easily understand them, right? To analyze them. So what we have to do, we have to normalize our logs, right? The logs, they need to be parsed and normalized, right? So over here, it will be involving like extracting the relevant fields, standardizing the timestamps, and converting the log data into a consistent format, right? That will be a log parsing. Then we are having a log analysis. So now the logs, they have been parsed, they have been normalized. So over here, our analyst, they can begin the process of your analysis, right? It will be involving like various techniques such as your pattern recognition, your correlation, or to identify the meaningful information within the logs, right? So over here, our analyst, what they will be doing, right? Our analyst, what they will be doing over here, they will be searching for the indicators of compromise, anomalies, or your suspicious patterns that could indicate a security breach or your unauthorized activity, right? That is what your log analysis. After log analysis, we are having your insights and actions. So through the log analysis, through the log analysis, the security analyst, our security analyst, they will be gaining valuable insights, right, into the overall security posture of our digital environment, right? So now they can identify the potential vulnerabilities, they can detect malicious activities, right? And they can uncover the root causes of our security incidents. Now, these insights they will be enabling informed decision making and your proactive actions, right? To enhance the security controls, to remediate the vulnerabilities, and to prevent your future incidents. Like we are having again an organization or a company, right? So over here, our organization's log analysis, right? They are revealing some abnormal pattern, right? They are revealing some abnormal patterns, right? For failed login, right? From multiple user accounts, right? So over here, our security analysts, they will be investigating your further, right? And they will be discovering about these login attempts, right? Which have been originated from, let's say, various IPs, right? Which are located into different countries. So over here, this particular pattern, it is indicating a possible brute force attack, right? Or a coordinated hacking attempt, right? So over here, what our incident response team, what they can do, they will be taking the immediate actions. They will be blocking all the suspicious IPs address, right? And they will be uh, doing what they will be telling about the users, right? They will be notifying the users to reset their passwords, right? They will be hardening their authentication mechanism, right? And along with that, they will be investigating or they will try to identify the root cause of this particular breach over here. So this is what our log analysis. Okay. Then we are having our incident response and mitigation. So yesterday we were talking about the investigation, your incident response process, right? So over here, just let's take an example for understanding this, right? So let's say we are having a ship, right? We are having a ship over here, right? And you are the captain of this particular ship, right? So over here, you are navigating and you have a crew members, right? Which will be doing what? They will be constantly monitoring into the radar for any nearby obstacles or any sign of danger, right? So over here, if a potential hazard is detected, if a potential hazard is detected, right? So over there, what you can do, you can just swiftly take some actions, right? To avoid this particular danger, this particular hazard, right? So in our security monitoring, the incident response team, they will be acting as a vigilant crew members, right? So whenever a security incident is detected, they will be investigating, right? They will be containing it and they will be mitigating the impact, right? So over there, they will be following some predefined, right? They will be following some predefined incident response procedures to minimize the damage, right? And to restore normal operation swiftly. That is what your incident response and mitigation over here. After this, we are having your compliance and auditing, right? So over here, our security monitoring, it helps the organization to meet a regulatory and a compliance requirement by monitoring and auditing the security related events, right? And along with that, it will be providing evidence of your adherence to security policies, controls, and your industry standards, right? So basically over here, what will happen? Like the organization who are operating into the regulated industries, right? The organization who are operating into the regulatory or regulated industries. So over there, they will be having some compliance, right? They will be following some compliance with specific security standards and the regulations, right? So over here, our security monitoring, it will be providing organization with a mean to meet those requirements. Like we are having your accountants, right? So they will be keeping track of our financial records, right? They will be having a receipts for our auditing process, right? So over here, our security monitoring system logs, right? And your monitoring security related events, right? Over here, our accountants, they will be keeping a record of all these things. Later on, this data, it can be used to demonstrate about the security policies, control, and your compliance requirement, right? So that is what our security monitoring is, right? You can just simply say like security monitoring, it will be serving as a watchful guardian for us, right? He will be protecting our digital realms from all the potential threats, and he will be ensuring the safety of our systems and the data, right? That is what our security monitoring is. After this, we are having the next topic, which is your logs, right? Like what are the logs and how they are monitored. So, guys, when we are talking about your logs, logs are what? Logs are the records that capture and document the events and the activities, right? Which are occurring within our computer systems, our application, our network devices, right? So basically our logs, they serve as our digital footprint, right? Preserving our valuable information about our system operations, user activities, your security events, and your potential vulnerabilities, right? So the logs, they are generated by your various components such as your servers, firewalls, operating systems, database, and security tools. So when we are talking about the logs, we are having different types of logs, right? Like we are having your security logs. So guys, when we are talking about your security logs, right? So security logs, they will be providing us a record, right? They will be providing us a record of our security related events, like your, as you are saying, successful or the failed authentication attempts, right? Changes to our access controls, your IDS alerts, your intrusion detection system alerts, right? And other security related activities, right? So these logs are very crucial in identifying the potential security breaches, right? Or your unauthorized access. So you can consider like your security logs, right? Like a silent sentinels, right? You can just consider our security logs as a silent sentinels, right? What they will be doing, they will be recording the security related events, and later on they will be providing valuable insights into the potential security breaches or your unauthorized access, right? So let's say our organization, right? Let's say our organization over here, right? It maintains the security logs. It maintains the security logs to safeguards its digital infrastructure, right? But one day over here, right? One day over here, the security team, right? The security team over here, right? They are noticing a series of failed login attempt, right? From multiple users, right? Which are originating from various countries, right? So by analyzing the security logs over here, right, they can discover a coordinated brute force attack, which is targeting their organization's customer database. Right, so over here our security team they will be responding, right, like they will be blocking the IP address which are associated with these attacks, right, and they will be enhancing the password policies. They will be notifying the affected users, right, like to reset their password. And along with that, like they will be performing an investigation, and over there through the investigation they will be identifying the vulnerabilities in the authentication system. And over there also they will be implementing some additional security measures to prevent future attacks over here, right? That is what we are having your security logs. After security logs, we are having your system logs. Okay. So over here, this is my system log, right? And over here, our system logs, they will be capturing the information about the activities and the operations of the underlying computer systems and the applications, right? So basically our system logs, right? Basically our system logs, they serve as a invaluable resource for troubleshooting, right? And you're diagnosing the technical issues, right? So the system logs, they capture the information about the activities and the operations of our underlying computer system and the application, right? It will be including our logs related to the system startup, shutdown, hardware errors, software installations, right? And your system crashes, right? So the system logs, they helps in troubleshooting and diagnosing the technical issues, right? So what it will be doing, whatever system logs, what it will be doing, capturing the, it will be capturing the system activities, right? It will be capturing the system activities, right? Basically, our system logs, they are designed to capture a wide range of activities and the events, right, that occur within the computer system, right? And by capturing all the events like shutdown, startup, software, system crashes, right? So by capturing all these events, our system logs, they will be creating a comprehensive record of our system activities, and they will be helping our administrators to understand like what is happening within the system. Along with that, our system logs, it will be also helping with troubleshooting and diagnosing, right? Like whenever a technical issue arises, right? Whenever a technical issue arises, right? So our system logs, they will be becoming a very invaluable in troubleshooting and diagnosing the underlying problems. So from there, we can review the logs, right? The administrator can identify the patterns. He can look for the error message. He can look for the warnings, right? Which will be providing a insights into the root cause of our issues. Like whenever a system is crashing, right? Whenever a system is crashing over there, the system logs, they will be providing details about the events which are leading up to the crash, such as your software conflicts or your resource limitations, right? Along with that, your system logs, it will be also helping us in tracking the system performance, right? It will be also helping us in tracking the system performance, right? Over here, our system logs, they will be providing us a metric and the information about the resource utilization, your network activities, your application performance, right? So by analyzing all these logs, the administrators, they can identify the bottlenecks. They can monitor the resource uses. And over there also, they can also optimize the system performance. After this, we are having your application logs, right? So our application logs over here, they will be focusing on the activities and the behavior of a particular software application or the services, right? So over here, they will be having a record like your user interaction, errors, application crashes, your data transactions, and your performance optimization, right? So our application logs, they will be assisting in debugging or your optimization of your performance, and also along with that, it will be also helping us in identifying the application specific issues, right? So by capturing all these events, these application logs, they will be providing us a more detailed uh, account of how the application behaves there during their runtime, right? Along with that, your application logs, it will be also helping us in debugging the issue, issue resolution, right? Like whenever, whenever a software application it is encountering some sort of issue or errors, right? So over there, the application logs, they become a lifeline, right? They become a lifeline for our developers and the support teams, right? So after examining the logs, the support teams, the developers, they can identify the error messages, stack traces, and other information, which will be helping us like in pinpointing the root cause of the problem. Okay, so let's say We are having a user. Let's say we are having a user and he's trying to log in a particular database. Our user, he was trying to log in this particular database. So over here, he is encountering some login errors, right? So over there, our application logs, they will be providing us insights into the authentication failures. They will be providing us insights into the authentication failures or your database connectivity issues, right? And along with that, they will be also helping us like in the resolution of this particular problem. Along with that, your application logs, they will be also helping in your performance optimization, right? The application logs, they play a very, very crucial role, right? They plays a very, very crucial role in optimizing the performance of our software applications, right? They will be providing us a valuable performance metric like your response time, memory utilization, and your network latency, right? So after analyzing all these logs, the developers and our administrator, they can identify again the bottlenecks and they can look forward, right? They can look for all the errors and the logs, right? Which are impacting their performance, right? Like your resource intensive operations, right? So over here, these logs, they can reveal information about a specific database query, right? Which is like, let's say over there in the database, you are putting some query and it is taking longer and longer time than expected, right? So over there, it will be allowing the developers to optimize the query and to improve the overall application performance, right? Along with that, it will be also helping us in tracking the user interactions, right? Like these logs, they will be capturing the user interactions and they will be providing us insights into how users engage with the application, right? So over here, these logs, they will be having information about your user actions like your clicks, your form submissions, or your navigation patterns, right? So after analyzing all these log patterns, it will be helping the developers to understand the user behavior, to identify the user's pattern, right? And to improve the user experience. So these are what? These are the logs, right? Like your application, security, system. After this, we are also having your setup and your forwarded events. So basically these setup logs, they will be having a series of activities, right? Which has been occurred during the installation or setup of a particular process of a software application, operating system or a computer system, right? So over here, these setup events, they will be capturing the configuration change. They will be having the information about the installation of the necessary components and the other actions which are required to set up the system for use, right? That is the thing we will be having inside this system event. Then we are also having your forwarded events. right? Next, we are having your forwarded events. So your forwarded events, right? It refer to a type of log event, right? In our Windows, we are having this forwarded event. So it will be involving the forwarding of logs from our computer to a centralized log collector or a particular server, right? For the analysis and the storage, right? So over here it is maintaining, right? Or it is allowing for a log management and monitoring into a distributed environment, right? That is what your forwarded events, right? So this is what our log and the type of log, right? So log monitoring is what? It is a process of continuously uh, collecting, analyzing, and interpreting logs to detect the anomalies, patterns, right? Or the potential security incident, right? So it involves the steps like your log collection, your log aggregation, your log analysis, right? And your parsing, right? So this is what your log monitoring is, right? So guys, logs are what? Logs are the digital breadcrumbs, and it will be unveiling the activities, the events, and the potential security risk within our computer system and the network, right? So now let me show you the logs in the Linux system. Okay, so over here I will be going to my var log ls. So over here in our Linux, we will be having our logs inside this directory, right? So these are our logs over here, right? So now over here, it will be having like your authentication logs, right? It will be having your authentication logs. So it will be having the information about your both successful and the failed attempts, right? Your boot log, right? It will be having the information about the startup messages and the boot information, right? Then your cron also, right? So over here, it will be having the information about the cron related messages, right? Then we are also having your daemon log, right? So this daemon log, it will be having the information about the running background services, right? Then we are also having your fail log, right? So over here, it will be having the information about the failed login attempts over here, right? Your mail.log, right? It will be having the information about the mail server. Last log, right? So over here, it will be having the information about the user's last login, right? And along with that, we will be also having our sys log, right? So it will be having our information about related to our system, right? Over here, we will be just having the general system related information. So that is what our syslog is. Okay. So these are the types of logs which we are having, some of the logs which we are having on our Linux-based systems. Okay, so guys, let's say this is our victim machine with the name Metasploitable2, and this is our attacker's machine with the name of your colleague. So what I will be doing, I will be compromising our victim machine, right? And then I will be showing you the logs. So inside that particular machine, we are having a service, right? Over there, we are having a service with the name VNC. So let me take the access of that VNC viewer. Okay. After that, we will be able to see the logs we are having over there. So over here, we are using your ARP. So over here, your ARP stands for your address resolution protocol, right? And over here, we are writing like your ARP scan, then I'm writing the network range over here, right? So what is happening over here, right? I'm scanning and I'm looking for all the active devices, all the active machine which I'm having right now in my network.